I would like to welcome to the show Scott Geller, who is the CEO of Zooz Mobile. Thanks for coming on the show, and how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Let's get straight into it. First thing, would you like to introduce Zooz Mobile? When was it founded, and what do you do, basically?
Sure. Zooz Mobile was founded in November 2008. We're based in Atlanta, Georgia, U.S., and our mission is to let anyone be musically expressive, whether they're a musician or not. And we have one of the first, and we think the leading interactive music platform for mobile devices and initially on the iPhone.
And your main product is called Zooz Beat. What is the center of experience on Zooz Beat, and how does it work?
Sure. Well, the word Zooz is actually a Hebrew word that means shake, and one of our first capabilities that was unique is the ability to use gestures to trigger music expression. So, for example, you can shake the phone as if you were tapping a snare drum or a hi-hat, and then go for a cymbal crash, and our software actually recognizes the kind of gesture you're making and makes the appropriate sound. So that's definitely something that's totally unique about our app. And then the other thing that you'll notice if you play the app is that we allow you to edit your music and have a fair amount of control over the music as you're remixing it or creating it.
And basically, Zooz is an application that is in continuous development. It's been out for a while now. What do you think is the most important part of the application? Is it the option of add more tracks to it, or is it the development of more features for the user?
Well, I mean, we're really trying to expand in both areas. We're adding new features in each new release. We're adding usability functions. So in our latest version that we're just about to release, you will notice that we have a tutorial that pops up. And for each song, we actually have an example. So a lot of what we've been trying to do recently is making all the functionality we've put in the product more accessible. In the version before that, the functionality we added was around multi-user. So two people can trade, either each play a different instrument and go back and forth, or the app will actually pick an instrument. You can randomly go back and forth and build on each other's creations. We also added the ability to do edit mode in landscape, where you can actually take notes and move individual notes, stretch them, delete them, so that you don't have to recreate an entire track to edit it. And then on the other side, we're trying to add new content. And so we have some exciting new content that we're going to be announcing at South by Southwest this week, and working with all the major labels and also with independent artists. We have a number of them in the app already that will make the app more exciting for fans of that particular music.
Yeah, sure. And one particular thing that is quite important for you, I guess, is in-app purchases, because then people can add music to their collection, or as you call them, beats to their collection, and continue using the app without getting tired of the same songs that they have. Was that a great development for you in terms of the way the App Store works, to be able to introduce that kind of purchase system?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually going to be adding that capability to our free Zooz Beat Lite product and reissuing that with an in-app purchase capability. But today you can get it in our regular Zooz Beat app, which is $1.99 and in the US. And yes, we do see adding content and letting people have new experiences with our app by buying in-app purchases as an important part of what we do. And we also are planning to allow people to download new instruments and customize their experience with micro purchases within the app over time.
Yeah. And the company stems out of a group of graduates and faculty members from the Georgia Tech Center for Music Technology. How did that inform the way the company works, and are some of those first developers still with you?
Absolutely. Well, the company was founded by Dr. Gil Weinberg, who got his PhD at the MIT Media Labs. And this was actually coming out of his research for his PhD thesis, where he created something called the beat bug, which was looked like a mouse with two antennas, and you could use it to using gestures and by pushing the antennas to actually create custom music sounds.
Yeah.
And so he looked at creating it with Mattel and some other toy makers. It was going to cost $600. And then he was recruited by Georgia Tech to come down to Atlanta and start the Center for Music Technology, which is one of the top university music technology programs in the country. And about that time, the Nokia phones came out, and we actually ported to Nokia and Symbian before iPhone. But obviously, when the iPhone came out, that was a natural for the platform. And he and two of his top graduate students were actually instrumental in writing the initial code and still very involved today.
And so you talked about Symbian and the iPhone platform. What do you think about the Android platform? Do you think it's harder to write for it because there's so many devices that can be used to play the same application? And are you looking at developing for it?
We're very excited about the Android platform, and we think it's an exciting new opportunity to monetize all the great investments that we have in our app and in the content that we have. So, we definitely do not view ourselves as an iPhone-only company, and are in the process of porting to other platforms, not even just mobile platforms. I mean, we see ourselves on game consoles and other platforms as well over time.
And I was wondering, did you find like any difficulty just looking into like the way Android works? I spoke to some other developers, and they say that it's a lot harder for them to develop for Android because an app that might work on one phone might not work necessarily on the other. Is this something that you think might be a hindrance to the system, or do you think things will smooth out in the next few months?
Well, I think the truth is when it's kind of like the PC versus the Mac, right?
Yeah.
When one company controls the software and the hardware platform, they make sure that each version of the software runs precisely on all the devices. And we have some minor issues between 3G and 3GS, but compared to any other platform, it's obviously a breeze.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, when you're dealing with a multi handset manufacturer environment, you've got a much bigger potential market over time.
Sure.
And so you have to make that trade-off between pristine delivery environment and lots of different delivery environments. So I mean, our app uses heavily the touch screen. It uses the accelerometer, in very precise ways, and we really tax the processor for both graphics and especially for the sound things that we're doing, because we essentially have a full multi-track sequencer inside of our app. So if there are any weaknesses or differences, we're probably going to find them in our app.
Talking about platforms still, are you excited about the iPad, and do you think it could add something to the experience on Zooz Beat? What do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't comment specifically on what we're working on, but we're very excited about the iPad. Certainly in the hands of DJs and musicians, more advanced users, we think it's very exciting. And when you play with our app, you see that we've gone to great lengths to take some very amazing functionality and fit it onto a very small screen. And as you can imagine, the iPad kind of unlocks all those limitations and opens up whole new possibilities in terms of manipulating, because we're allowing users to manipulate the individual tracks or individual instruments within a song, and the ability to do drag and drop and have buttons and controls that are actually bigger than your finger is pretty exciting.
And last year you released a version of Zooz in partnership with Sprite. Was that venture successful? And are you looking into partnering with more brands in a similar way, or was that a one-off experiment that you did?
Yeah, that was a very exciting project because I think it was one of the first projects that I know of that tied the unlocking of in-app capabilities to a physical good purchase. So the way that works is that there's 9 songs in the app, one that's free that comes with the free app, and the other 8 that are free, but to unlock them, you need to screw the cap off 20-ounce Sprite, text the number under the cap to the word Sprite, and it sends back a WAP page in your browser that actually lets you have a credit in the app for the other 8 songs.
Oh, cool.
So we worked extensively with the Coke IT team on the code generation and unlocking all that stuff, and it's been very successful. It's tied to their Under the Cap program, which they partner with the NBA and people like Sony Pictures. And so for Zooz Mobile to be able as an early stage company to partner with them on that was very exciting. And yes, we do want to work with other brands on interesting concepts and ways to tie their brand image to music and specific genres of music.
That's great.
Sprite's case, they're very closely identified with urban and hip hop.
I've recently come across a number of music tech companies that are coming out of Atlanta and the surrounding area, including Rankem, Bandmetrics, and Free Old Music. And I was wondering, and I asked some of the guys from those companies as well, do you have any clues as to why this area has generated so many startups that work in the music field when the area is not really known for being a technology ground?
Well, I would say, first of all, that Atlanta, actually, I come from the more traditional software side of technology, and we do have Internet Security and Scientific Atlanta. We have Turner here, CNN here. So we actually have some great media and technology companies in Atlanta. We also have one of the best, if not the best, hip hop community in the country. And then down the road in Athens, we have the University of Georgia, which has turned out REM and B-52s and a number of really great bands. So I think it's kind of natural when you think about that for music technology to emanate from here. And on top of that, Gil starting the Center for Music Technology at Georgia Tech about 6 years ago is really the beginning of a lot of cool stuff. There's actually another company that has a product called La-Di-Da, which is a reverse karaoke app on the iPhone as well. So there's a bunch of companies sprouting up. We also have the Guthman competition, which is an international competition at Georgia Tech's Center for Music Technology for the coolest new instruments from anywhere in the world. And it's truly a global competition. And so there's a lot going on here.
Oh, that's great. I'll check it out. Finally, I wanted to ask you if you can talk about the big announcement that you're going to do at South by Southwest.
Sure. So we've been working for the last 7 or 8 months on a really exciting app that features 5 of the top songs of the Jackson 5. So we actually licensed the studio multi-tracks for 5 top songs, including ABC, Mama's Pearl, and several others. And we actually allow our fans to hear Michael Jackson's voice isolated and to remix their songs with all the intricate, cool components that were used in the studio to actually create those songs.
That's amazing. How did you find the process of getting this app out? Was it quite hard to negotiate the release of the songs?
Well, of course, you can imagine that licensing anything related to the Jacksons isn't easy, but I would say that the people at EMI Publishing and Universal Music Enterprises, which is responsible for Motown stuff, have been very easy to work with and really worked hard with us to make this possible. But it does take a while to get a deal like that done. So yeah, we're very excited about it, and it's also we took great care because of the importance and iconic nature of these songs to really upgrade our app and make it as fast as possible and as easy to use as possible with lots of examples and a tutorial.
Yeah.
And so we spent several of those months just making sure we got it exactly right.
Yeah.
Because of wanting to do right by the Jacksons.
Sure. And this is going to be an in-app purchase from the Zooz Beat application, isn't it?
This is it's going to be available as an in-app purchase eventually, but right now it's going to initially be released to the market as Zooz Beat Jackson 5 Remix.
Oh, okay. Okay.
as a separate app, and it's going to have 5 songs that come with it for $4.99 US. And then we're going to add in-app purchases over time to that. And we're going to then, as the contest, we're going to have a contest with over $6,000 in prizes that is available to residents of the U.S. And at the end of that 1-month contest, we're going to make the content available in other ways.
Cool. Well, that's fantastic. Keep us up to date with the developments at Zooz Mobile. And it was great having you on.
Well, thanks for having me. We're very excited to talk about what